Hey YouTube, there is thankfully only 1 week left in this GBL season, and Niantic did the right thing and allowed you to play Great League, Ultra League, or Master League to end off for your final push. So here are some of the top Great League teams that I've used or showcased over the past month in the Great League. Um, Quickly on the screen is the top 20 list. There's really, I kind of do this every maybe month because it doesn't change too often. There are two new Pokemon on here um, that one I've used, one I haven't used. So Clodsire at number 11. It has Poison, Sting, Earthquake, Sludge Bomb. You can use Mud Shot as well. It just depends what you want to go after, right? Mud Shot will be better for the steels. Poison Sting will be better for the grass and um, flyers that aren't ground. And then Whiscash as a shadow. Whiscash was always one of those. It's on here at number 20. Whiscash was always one of those where it's kind of borderline for me because sometimes it's bait dependent, right? Sometimes you need to land that blizzard on flyers and stuff like that. And then other times what I found with Whiscash is just the Mud Shot, Mud Bomb is a nice combo, but from a Whiscash doesn't do much. Add in the shadow version where you have Whiscash, which is okay bulk, but didn't hit super hard. Add now 20% shadow bonus for damage on your attack. Makes this Pokemon a little more scary when you go against it because those mud bombs can add up real quick. Other than that, there hasn't been a ton on this list that's changed the meta, right? It's very much where you're not even seeing on this list, but it's very much a Medi, Carbink, Lickitung, Gligar, Swampert, Superior, Sandslash, Lantern, Core, right? Those are your main 8. With some of these other ones sprinkled in. So here are 7 teams that I've used or I've showcased over the past. This one I've used, and I showcased last time my top teams, and someone used it and said they ran so well with it. And it's a double flyer, double water team, right? So Pelipper, Gligar, Swampert. Swampert is going to be weak to grass. You have 2 flyers to deal with that. The flyers are going to be Pelipper's weak to electric. You have the 2 grounds in the back to deal with that. You can deal with Medi multiple times in this. Pelipper's gonna have problems with Medi, but Swampert, I mean not Medi. Pelipper's gonna have problems with Carbink, but Gligar and Swampert can deal with that. So it's really it's a strong team, all strong meta Pokemon that can kind of move around a lot of the Pokemon that you are seeing, right? Because just the having the duo typings on all these is very, very strong. And I used it and it was very good, and other subscribers used it and said that it worked well for them. This is one I just showcased maybe 2 days ago. Sandslash, Clefable, Charizard. So this was in the 31-25 ELO range, right? So already a legend player using this team. I think the strengths of it are Charizard is one of those Pokemon where if you can kind of shields down or have a shield advantage, you're in good situation because even the blast burns and neutral resisted situations still do 50%. It's such a strong, hard-hitting Pokemon. If you're gonna have problems against your double weak to rock, having a steel is a nice answer. And I think Sandslash is probably the best steel in this meta right now, unfortunately, which doesn't stay much for steels. Registeel just kind of got nerfed, not nerfed, but when you have everything that has a ground type move and you have Gligar that you can't really throw anything at, it just makes Sandslash that much better in comparison. So Sandslash is the one they used as the steel option of this. And then they use Clefable. Clefable is an interesting one. I would, if you're going to run this team, so the reason they're using Clefable is because they want 2 answers to Medi in the back, right? Because if you're running Sandslash double weak to counter in the front, you really want 2 answers to Medi in the back, which is why they use Clefable. Clefable and Charizard, the one thing I noticed with this team is that it doesn't really have a great save swap. They were often using Clefable as a save swap, which can get walled really quickly against steels and fires. So just keep that in mind if you're going to use this team. I personally would probably use a different save swap. Depends what save swap you want to use. You can just kind of check out what one you think is best. I also think that you kind of need a better answer as a save swap, a better answer for Swampert. Because the Ace/Slash Shadow is probably going to lose to Swampert, and then Charizard is going to get killed by Swampert. So I'd probably fill that Clefable with some sort of Swampert safe swap answer. I think this was one of the first teams I used Clodsire on. So Sableye, I don't really need to talk much about these Pokemon, right? Sableye is just generally safe against anything, weak to Fairy. Clodsire as a poison will resist the Fairy, and then Dugong as a safe swap Dugong's the only thing weak to Fighter. Even against like Medi, you're not bad with Dugong, right? Because you can just Ice Shard, Icy Wind, and you have a lot of bulk. And then you have 2 answers for Medi on either side. Sableye also have problems with like normal typing. So like one of the main issues before was like Noctowl. So Dugong will deal with that. And then Clodsire is a good strong Pokemon, but again, has its weaknesses with water and like Gligar and stuff like that. So covering those weaknesses with the other 2 Pokemon. This was when I relooked at Steelix. So when Steelix first came out, I was like, it's overhyped. A lot of times you need the Earthquake, like a beta Breaking Swipe and Earthquake Landing and stuff like that. And I relooked at it, and I think it's way better than I initially thought. I think that the Dragon Tail Breaking Swipe combo, not that it's overpowered by any means necessary, but a lot of people are like, in bad matchups, you can just like go to the 2 shield and Breaking Swipe like 3 or 4 times that you'll be able to flip switch in the 2 shield. So you can do that. This is sort of a balanced team, right? Steelix, weak to water and fighting. Sableye Safe Swap, Superior will deal with the water weakness in the back. Superior weak to flying. Steelix will deal with the flying weakness, right? So it's just a very typical Dan Ottawa balanced team with Sableye as a safe swap. This is another one I used with Clodsire, because this was when I was just testing Clodsire out. And it basically comes down to, if Clodsire is going to be super, super weak to like Gligar and Swampert and stuff like that. So I put Ninetales in to deal with like the Gligar, Powder Snow there. And then Medi as a safe swap, because you're kind of like Ninetales' biggest weakness is going to be like steals. So Medi is a safe swap, and if you pull out Medi as a safe swap and then you get hit with Gligar, you can probably get a nice bunch off, and you'll lose, but it's close, right? So it's not too bad. And then Ninetales can deal with that, and then Clodsire doesn't have to see that. So that was that thought process behind the team. Speaking about Gligar, right? Gligar is one of the better Pokemon in this meta, so there it is on lead. I think this is generally one of the safe, balanced teams here. Carbink is going to have problems with steals, right? Main steals like Registeel, stuff like that. This team is kind of double weak to Swampert, because Gligar is weak to Swampert. But for those of you who don't know the Swampert Gligar matchups, basically Gligar, Shadow on Shadow, Swampert wins. Regular on regular, Swampert wins. If one of them are Shadow and the other one is not Shadow, Gligar wins. So if my Shadow Gligar sees a regular Swampert, the Wing Attack Air Lace will be able to take out before they double Hydra you. So that matchup's not terrible. And then also Carpink's weak to Grass, and Gligar can deal with that. So if you want a better answer, the reason I put in Gligar is because you, like, yes, you'll cover to a certain extent Swampert and Grass. Like you'll still take super effective from water and neutral from grass, but you can't really use just like another flyer on this team, because Carbink is just gonna get walled by steals. So you can't really have a flyer without a ground type move just also getting walled by steals, right? You're gonna be in big trouble there. And the last team, this is the one where we used Shadow Dragonite. So if you watch the video, I basically said Shadow Dragonite is quite strong in this meta, but it's quite strong when you have shield advantage, right? Because it's just the Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw damage, and then Superpower just kind of overpower a lot of stuff. But you're also extremely, extremely glassy that you will need shields. So Defense, Deoxys, Lickitung are the bulky Pokemon that can also kind of grab shields on the team, right? Counter Psycho Boost, Thunderbolt, and then Lick Body and Bio Whip will grab shields. Save your shields for Dragonite, as long as you don't get lined on like an Ice, or even Ice you can hit super effective with Superpower, right? So just as long as the Ice doesn't like put you down in like 3 seconds, then you have some energy. Superpower can one-shot Ice type Pokemon. Like you can Superpower with ease a Sand Slash here. So just keep shield advantage with Dragonite, and then try and sweep with it. But that is it. Top Ultra League teams this afternoon. Master League I'm not even going to look at, because I think most people, I've got to imagine that the majority of people playing Great League, if they're not playing Great League, a lot are playing Ultra League, and then the some just like, not whales, but people who've built up all their level 50 Pokemon are playing Master League. But I gotta imagine the majority of you are playing Great League, which is why I will probably showcase mostly Great League this week. I know I have some submissions for Ultra League as well, so I'll probably do a mix of Great League and Ultra League this week, So stay tuned for those, and then I will bring you the news of the new season. When it comes, I will do a just quick analysis of the information, and then definitely a more in-depth analysis of beyond the hype of, okay, this Pokemon's getting this move. What does it mean? This Pokemon's getting nerfed a bit. What does it mean? So I'll do that analysis probably in a second video after I go over my initial thoughts and information there. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.